Most of us look at a situation as we want to and not how it really is. If you enjoy listening to this podcast, please like and share with others. Thank you. I don't even attempt to engage anyone anymore. We seem like we have become a completely polarized society. We primarily hear the beliefs and opinions that are on the very fringe. They aren't what I believe is necessarily the beliefs as the majority. I remember back when I was in school and I had a professor who would grade on the curve. Everybody fit into that curve, that there was always somebody on the end. And even if we all wrote a paper that probably could be graded as equal, all of us probably could have at least achieved a C, he still graded on the curve. Somebody had to receive the top grade and somebody had to receive the bottom grade, no matter the quality of the work. To some degree, I see that we in society also fall into that graphic based on general beliefs and understandings and ideologies. That the most of us fall in that middle section. And we're pretty much aligned enough to really be on the same side. But yet, we're not. I spent some time this week going into the opposite of what I believe. I spent time this week listening to people who believe something completely different than I do. We can't change someone else's mind, no matter how much we talk. That any changes that are going to be made have to come from within. The way to change the world isn't by forcing everyone else to believe what you believe. Changes always happen within. The world changes when we personally decide to change. It's interesting when I was listening to this other person who's extremely popular in their field, and they have a lot of followers. It was interesting for me to listen to their understanding of what is happening and why it's happening. And I'm always fascinated when two people can listen to the exact same circumstance and situation and come up with completely opposite conclusions of what is actually happening. Both of them probably have some accurate assessments. I mean, there's probably truth in both sides. There's probably falsehoods in both sides. And it comes down to, in my opinion, it comes down to what matters the most. What is on the top of our social beliefs? What is most important? Do we need to get along? I think ideally it would be helpful if people could work together. It's just that we all have different beliefs of what is acceptable and what isn't acceptable. I didn't really gain any additional awareness listening to someone who doesn't see the world as I see it. All I did confirm was I can't change someone else's belief by yelling louder. I can't change someone else's belief by talking more. I think it's good to know what the other side believes in most circumstances. And that allows for me to be somewhat prepared for what is being spoken, what is being believed. It's like knowing what monster is in the room and how do I need to respond to that. My vision of the world isn't the same as everybody else's vision. Even if my vision is shared by many, each of us have different paths and different beliefs how we achieve that. It comes down to how do we work and live with people who believe something different. We have to do that if we want to live within a civilized society. I want somebody to give me the time, the place, the space to believe what I believe. I want somebody to accept my personal beliefs as they are. And that also means that I have to in turn give that to somebody who believes the exact opposite of me. And that's where I think we're failing as a society. We all want to have our own beliefs. We all want to be in this space. But if somebody doesn't believe what we believe, then we don't want to accept that. That is not freedom. If you want to have your own beliefs and understandings, you also have to allow that for someone else. If you can't accept something in someone else, it's thought that you also can't accept something within yourself. That most of our beliefs are projected upon, that grow within us, that are within us at some level. The path to healing is always within our own self-acceptance and self-love. If you cannot accept someone else, the belief is there is something within you that you can't accept as well. It's really a time to listen with an open heart and not simply listen to respond. That if I could encourage anybody today, it is to listen, to understand. Listen to try to understand why somebody feels the way they do and why somebody believes the things they do. So many of our personal experiences drive our beliefs. It is the path that we have walked. It is the circumstances that we have experienced. And that should be met with love and not hate. Trying to understand your neighbor isn't an inherently bad thing. Trying to help your neighbor succeed isn't an inherently bad thing. We could all use a little more love and understanding and acceptance in this world. And I hope that as you walk out the door today, you will meet people with as much kindness as you can. And until next time, we meet again. Thank you for listening to this podcast of Tracy Talks. Please like and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. And until next time, we meet again.